With over 1,400 animals coming into the shelter every year, it's hard not to fall in love with at least one.
So we asked our staff who their favorite shelter pet has been.
My favorite shelter animal is Henry. He was recently adopted by a really nice family with a young kiddo, and I liked him because he was confident and playful.
There's a little dog named Callie who reminded me a lot of my own dog, Hernando. And so I almost took her home, but thankfully she found the best home with another family. So that was best for everybody involved, especially my husband.
All of them! But if I had to pick one, right now I would say Zeus is my favorite. He's a big, handsome, pretty boy. He loves toys, and I just have a soft spot for pit bulls and for dogs who love to play tug of war and other fun games.
This puppy right here. No, I think I do love you, but I think that Voyager was my favorite shelter animal so far because she came here and she was so scared of like everything, wouldn't even let you touch her, and then now she's transformed into a little cuddle bug.
My favorite has been Voyager. She's a cute little cattle dog thing that came from Rescue, came with 4 puppies. She was starving and did not want anything to do with people, and she came back from foster and was terrified, and by the end of it, within weeks, she was playful and cute and cuddly and just amazing.
Oh, my favorite shelter pet. I couldn't even leave her here. She came home the second she entered the building. Pearl is my favorite shelter pet, and I have had her for just over a year now.
His name was Oakley, and he was a pit bull from when I started here 4 years ago. And he had a length of stay that was a little bit longer, but he ended up getting to go home with an old Boston Terrier, and it was a perfect option.
My favorite shelter pet is Yoda. I love him, and he's just such a sweet guy, and I really feel like he's thriving here, and we're doing so much to make sure that his experience is good and that we find a good home for him.
My favorite shelter animal here, and most recently and probably of all time, would be Yoda. He is a 6-year-old herding mix that we have here. I think he's stolen a lot of our hearts. He's a little weirdo. He has a very interesting background, and he's a little fearful guy, and he's a really cool dog because he is a dog that is just looking to gain our trust, and he's a staff favorite here, and I love the cattle dog mixes, and he's just a little weirdo, and he's a really sweet boy.
My favorite shelter pet was a cattle dog named Ramsey, who was a very cattle dog. And because of his history, in some ways he was really hard to place within our community. But we found him a new lease on life and a great set of circumstances that made him a great fit for that family.
My favorite shelter pet is a dog, a puppy we had come in a few months ago that had a large kidney tumor, and we took that kidney tumor out. And I fostered her through recovery and while we were waiting test results, and she's still with me, so she's part of my family now. Right?
My favorite shelter pet is my dog Jagger, and while I love all of my shelter pets that I've ever gotten from this organization, and that's a lot, Jagger to me represents what has been so great about this shelter, and he's a distemper survivor. And we learned all of the ways that we can support animals that have infectious disease through his survival and the survival of his litter mates. And because of that particular occasion, we have been able to work with other shelters across the country and save more lives.